Since putting out the call to action for the accelerator, I've had some amazing calls with some amazing applicants who have asked some truly introspective questions. And because I know a lot of you are on the fence of whether you want to go from being an employee to an entrepreneur, or you want to go from being an entrepreneur to a more successful entrepreneur or more impactful entrepreneur, I think these questions are going to help you on your decision as well. So one of the best questions I was asked was this. I've been on this path over here for a while, and people want this from me, and I feel like it's not the right path for me. Do I have to stay on that path if I do the accelerator? The answer is, whether you do the accelerator or not, if that is not the path for you, you shouldn't be doing that path, because there is nothing worse than building a monster of a business that you suddenly realize you hate. So if you have been on a path that has been profitable, yet it's not where you feel like your true potential lies, it's not where you feel like your true impact or your true calling lies, then stop going on that path. Even if it's paying well, when you pivot to being on the path that you feel like you are really meant to be on, what's going to happen is everything just starts to fall in place, because you're no longer having this identity crisis inside you that is tearing you apart, where you're going, oh, I really don't want to be doing this anymore. I really want to do this over here, but I'm afraid. I remember going through that when I had my business coaching company for dentists, because I knew I was really good at it. And yet every time I walked into a clinic, it tore me up because I lost my dental career. And it just reminded me of how much I had lost. So yes, you can be highly profitable at something, but if it's not what you want to be doing, you're not going to last that long in it. I sold that company because I hated it. I hated it so much. It hurt so much. So if you are on the wrong path, it is never too late to swap paths. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you just tear the Band-Aid off and do the uncomfortable thing, have the uncomfortable conversations with your clients, and start building yourself in the right direction, the faster you are going to get profitable. Another question I had was someone who is a professional speaker, and I do end up conversing with quite a few professional speakers who are going, I'm doing this thing, I'm not getting as many gigs as I want, and I'm not creating the impact that I want. And the question I always have is, when you look at the speeches that you've given or the workshops that you've done, anything where you're kind of going in and getting out fast with an audience, can you actually measure the impact that has created 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, 18 months down the line, 5 years down the line? And if you can't track the audience members and see that what you actually spoke to them about created impact, then you're not creating impact outside the room. And if you're not creating impact outside the room, when you actually measure that, it feels pretty gross, because you put so much effort into building this amazing workshop or this amazing speech, and you have people moved in the room, but the minute they leave the room, it's all gone. That feels pretty gross. This is why I actually stopped speaking professionally in person. I speak online still because I'm able to create impact that way and be able to follow up with people. But speaking in the room would create a burst of inspiration, and then they'd move on to the next session, or they'd leave the room and go home, and nothing really changed. And that felt really gross to me. So that's why I started building out the curriculums that I did. Now, you can leverage the stuff that you learn in the accelerator to build your speaking career, because you're going to be creating content, you're going to be outreaching to the right kind of people that will put you on stages, whether they're virtual or they're in person. You will be able to get that recognition and build that credibility in the marketplace that way. And if you want to scale up that impact, then also build out your curriculum and build it out such that you take people through a transformative journey where you are meeting with them multiple times during a period of time to get that transformation in them, because we know people don't change overnight. They don't. They think they can. And when you're in that moment of inspiration and you're writing out all your to-do lists, you think you can. And then you go home and you don't look at that sheet again. And so then that makes the speaker feel empty because you can't create that measurable impact. Now, another question I was asked is, well, if I have been speaking, do I have enough material to take people through a transformation? Because I know I can inspire them on stage. I know I can inspire them in a half-day workshop. But do I have what it takes to take them through a 90-day program? And that's something you do need to consider. So if you're going to be building out a program like my Accelerator, which I meet with people I teach for 36 to 40 hours over an 8 to 12 week period, depending on the time that we're doing it. And I have a lot of material that I work with them on that has been built over the years as I've been doing this work. Now, when you're newly doing something, you may not do something that intense. And you have to make sure that you know the path that you can at least guess that you're going to be taking to get them that predictable outcome. And then in the Accelerator, we dig into that. We dig into what has to happen each week. What are the things that you have inherently done that you can pour into people to help them to get that transformation? So it can be scary to be like, oh my gosh, I've been good for a couple of hours or half a day or a day, but I don't know that I can take people through a 90-day program. That's something definitely worth considering to see if you are willing to invest in yourself to deepen your knowledge, because it's in you already. It's just a matter of like, okay, this is my subject matter. Now I'm going to go narrow and deeper with this to understand it at a higher level so that I can help other people with it. And then one of the other things I also get asked is, okay, yes, you have this $125,000 guarantee. How fast am I going to make that money back? And that really depends. If you are building a program that you're charging $70,000 to a corporation for, you need to sell 2 of those programs and you've made your money back. If you are not going as high ticket as I'm going to recommend, and I'm going to recommend a price that makes sense to the outcome that you can create, to the level of knowledge that you have, to the intensity of the program that you're going to be creating as well. If you go way under that, it's going to take you longer. And if I accept you into the program, I'm still going to work with you till you make your $125,000. So how the program actually works is we have the foundational program, which is called the Accelerator, which again is about 40 hours of training. And that training is us going in and working on things. So it's not me sitting talking at you. It's us going in and working through all the steps, digging into it, me giving you feedback. So I'm coaching you, I'm consulting with you, I'm doing some of it for you, I'm doing some of it with you during those hours so that you are not left to your own devices. You're not left to do homework. You are executing in the room. And then once you graduate from that, then you join Accelerator Masters, which is the program that is getting you from graduation to that $125,000. So it is an hour a week where we are weighing in together on what is actually happening. So you are tracking your efforts, you're tracking the outcomes from the efforts, you are reporting back, we are going through hot seats, going through sales calls, we're going through everything that needs to happen in order to help you to get closer and get you closer and faster to that $125,000 mark. And then once you graduate from that, then you can join the Badass Entrepreneurs Club. So that gap between the Accelerator Foundation program and the Badass Entrepreneurs Club is included in your tuition for the Accelerator because, again, I'm there to hold your hand. I'm there to partner with you to get you from start to 125K. And then from there, you can decide to go into the next thing. So you're not left trying to figure this out on your own. And I know I've been in tons of expensive programs where they give me the information that I'm off to figure it out myself and I'm not even getting feedback. That's not how I operate because I want to make sure that the knowledge that I'm imparting to you is being executed at the highest level. And that's why we start with the Crack You Open session at the beginning as well, because I want to understand you better than you understand yourself from the marketing perspective, from the curriculum perspective, from the genius that you bring to the marketplace. Because it takes a little bit of time to go from, okay, here's where I am when I started the Crack You Open session to here is where I'm going to be when I launch my program. There's an identity shift. There is an arc of transformation that happens. And when you have doubt, that's where I come in and can remind you of what needs to happen. So the program is built for you to be successful. The program is built for you to be able to get to that 125K quickly, ethically, and with the impact that you want to be creating in the marketplace. And everyone who I've had calls with is someone who is really heart-centered, really accomplished, experienced, they have passion for what they're doing, they have impact that they want to be creating. And so they're coming to it from a place of, can they actually do it? That's the question, is, do I have the time to invest in this? Do I believe in myself to actually do this? And then once they know that they are ready to bet on themselves, then we talk about the numbers, the tuition for it, and getting started into the program. So if you have any other questions, I would love to hear them. Please send me a private message. And otherwise, I hope to see your Accelerator call application come in, and we can connect before the program starts. Again, it starts on May 7th, so time is of the essence if you want to get in on this and get rolling and really scale up your impact and your income with your coaching or consulting business.